Acharyo Ramakrishna Yate Namaha. Salutations to Bhagavan Ramakrishna, the great teacher of teachers who has come to establish Dharma. In the Gospel we find somebody speaking in English called Girindra. The Brahmos say that the Paramahansa Deva has no faculty for organization. The master says, what does that mean? So M says that you don't know how to lead a sect, that your intellect is rather dull. They say things like that, and all laughed. And Sri Ramakrishna, of course, laughed. But after all these years, now nobody's laughing that the Paramahansa does not know how to organize. He's having his last laugh. You know, in many organizations, they have a spiritual goal, but they are material in administration and organization. But ours is different. Our organization is spiritual with a spiritual goal. Because we find that it is materiality that slowly overshadows, like we had an eclipse, all spirituality. And that is what every member should be aware of and be cautious of. That this organization is a spiritual organization. And the work and everything that we do is spiritual work. So, what is behind any organization? It's ideas. And these ideas are the results of many thoughts. In philosophy, mainly in Western philosophy, Eastern philosophy, the idea of thoughts coalescing or crystallizing into ideas, workable ideas, have a reality of its own. So ideas are real. And it's not very far away from Western philosophy also, because Plato says that the world, that the realm of ideas, they are more real and they are perfect. So ideas have a life of its own. And Victor Hugo says, there is nothing as powerful in the world as when an idea's time has come. So, what we see in this world are the unraveling or the manifestation or the working out of ideas. In our Vedanta Societies, what is the idea behind this? Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji, their lives and their experiences. And what are the experiences? Knowledge. Knowledge of the highest reality. So our Vedanta societies are actually working out these great ideas that they embodied, and which all organizations, especially our Vedanta societies, have to embody, to work out. That's the reason why it has to keep its spirituality burnished and bright. So we find religious movements come in groups. Whenever there is a kind of a religion's kind of revival, you will find many sects popping out. many types of smaller religions. You had it in the times of Christianity, you had it even just before Islam, and even Buddhism. We have great examples. They were like mushrooming sects and religious movements. And slowly one of them grows stronger and stronger and absorbs all the other energies. In time, this comes as a huge wave. Even in when Sri Ramakrishna had come, you'd see all these various organizations, the Brahma Samaj and the Arya Samaj and this and that, so many. Where are they now? Nothing. It's like the Ramakrishna order has kind of sucked them all dry. And it's going to grow. So this is how the Vedanta societies will grow. One advantage in the Vedanta societies is it's not a monolithic structure, which is sometimes always top heavy, and then things collapse. It's always a cluster of smaller Vedanta societies all over the country and over the world, with its own board members and its own bylaws. It has enough flexibility to meet day-to-day challenges. And that's what makes Vedanta societies unique. There is no bigger authority than Sri Ramakrishna. So we believe that all works of the Vedanta societies are nothing but working out, as I said, the will of Sri Ramakrishna, his life and his knowledge that he gave. We also have one particular incident where Latu Maharaj, Swami Adbhutananda, and Swami Vivekananda are kind of discussing it. So in 1902, just before Vivekananda passed away, he's telling Latu, "What do you think? This is just the beginning. The people of Europe and America are now starting to appreciate the greatness of our master. After a couple of years, they will accept his ideas. Now, they are only a handful, but later, hundreds will come. Then you will understand what this Vivekananda has done." So Latu Maharaj, a simpleton, but he was a sage, of course. He listened to Swamiji and says, "Brother, have you done anything new? Haven't you walked the same path that the great teachers like Buddha and Shankara have traveled?" Swamiji, he became silent, saying, "You're right." And he used to call him Plato. Not Leto, Plato. "You're right, Plato, my dear Plato. I have only followed their footsteps." Now, this is very significant because we've seen two huge movements that brought great benefit to the world. One was Buddhism, and the other was Shankaracharya's movement. So both these, so Latu Maharaj says, you have Buddha and Shankara. They have done it. What did they do? They reorganized religion. Simple as that. And when they reorganized religion, that tremendous power that was unleashed, it completely changed the way Asia was. Buddhism, it spread like wildfire and without violence. Only with this power, brain power, and this power, and their spirituality. They transformed it. When Shankaracharya, he consolidated religion, there was a kind of a constant warring between various philosophical systems. And if you read his works, you can see how he's debating various. So what he did was also he consolidated religion, put it on a firm basis. And that also brought great benefit to the world. So Buddha and Shankara, so first they laid a pretty strong foundation philosophically. They laid a structure where even today it is a despair of any other philosophies to tackle it. So this was the first thing they did. They put, like Buddhism as well as Vedanta, they have a remarkable, you can say, philosophical structure. And yet it's watertight, but yet it is kind of flexible enough to let in new ideas. Then both of them, they gave a systematic, you can say, structure to spiritual practices. It's not just philosophy. In India, philosophy is meant as darshana, that is to see, to experience. So they gave a structure to the spiritual disciplines that are necessary in order to realize those truths. The third is belief in an external God was not necessary. And this is what both of them had done. First is, Buddha says, there is no God. I mean, he never said it directly. He said, maybe, maybe not. And he's called a great agnostic or a great atheist. But Sri Ramakrishna says, actually, he couldn't articulate what exactly it was. But he threw the entire burden on the individual. And he built the system of philosophy based on the individual, the workings of the mind and the workings of the body and external nature. These are perceivable entities, and he used them. The same with Vedanta. It throws everything on you. You are responsible for your bondage and you are responsible for your freedom, and this is how you go. So they based it on the real nature of the human being. That is what they did. One of the things that they both did, they reorganized monasticism. Buddha reorganized monasticism. In fact, there was no organized monasticism before Buddha. He organized and made it the Sangha. And the Sangha was supposed to be one of the gems. Buddha himself became a gem, the Sangha and the Dharma he preached, the religion he preached. Shankaracharya, he did the same thing. He reorganized monasticism. They were all quarreling, and then he brought them all together. He made them into the 10 branches of Vedanta. And we are, the Ramakrishna order of monks, we are in one of the branches called the Puri branch. And not only the monasticism, they also made rules for the common people, the non-monastics, the laity. Buddha gave a lot of, you can say, reasons why every householder should be able to practice the Buddha's precepts. Simple. There are those who will take up the elitist, you can say, path. They are going on the freeway. There are those who will slowly climb up. So he made it say, you have to attain the state of nirvana. It was open to everybody, whether monks, householders, high, low, everybody. He put that as a goal. Shankaracharya says, well, you are that Brahman. And you, whether you're a monk or a householder, you've got to reach that goal. So he also made a system of rules for puja. In fact, today's pujas, what we see, are nothing but designed by him. He also gave the various, you can say, instructions how the common people, householders, can live their life and can attain to that goal. And we find Swami Vivekananda in this time also, again reorganizing the monks, which is amazing because first he put Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy in place. This was Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy. And how did he do that? He's saying, today what we need is the intellectuality of Shankara and the heart of Buddha. Here he joined both of them. And he said, Vedanta has to be living. And he said, this living Vedanta was lived by Sri Ramakrishna. So he kept Sri Ramakrishna and he gave the philosophy of what Sri Ramakrishna is. Now, he never spoke directly of Sri Ramakrishna. And he was accused by his Guru Bhais, his disciples. You never spoke about Sri Ramakrishna. He never mentioned Sri Ramakrishna, but he mentioned Sri Ramakrishna's ideas. And why? Actually, what he spoke was nothing but Sri Ramakrishna's life and ideas. Holy Mother says that Naren, Swami Vivekananda, was just an instrument in the hands of Sri Ramakrishna. So his complete works, all his works are nothing but Sri Ramakrishna teaching us his own philosophy. And then we have Swami Vivekananda, as he said, he reorganized the monks. There were various disputes. During Buddhism, there was a huge spurt in, you can say, religious activities. And then also during Shankaracharya's time. It does not mean it never happened in Christianity or Islam. It did happen. There was a kind of a balancing. This time also he has reorganized. I remember once going to a Kumbh Mela, the famous Kumbh Mela, where millions and millions people come to bathe in that, and then a few 200 or 300,000 monks, they attend this. And one of the largest contingent is the Ramakrishna order. And when the people say, oh, look at this. In one of these meetings, where all the great, you can say, the very high monks, they're called the Paramahamsas. He said, Vivekananda has saved monasticism in India, he has saved Hinduism, and he has saved India. And as a result, he has saved the world. So what we are seeing now is Swami Vivekananda's reorganization of that. And he also, when he made this Ramakrishna mission, made it that both the householders and monks have to work together. He made no distinctions, like the great teachers in the past. So this was his great contribution. And we see today Vedanta. So he had given in San Francisco a lecture, is Vedanta the future religion? And it will be, for a few salient reasons. Vedanta, as a system of philosophy, is pre-Shankara. It is Upanishadic. It has 1,000 years of history. And it grew out of the Upanishads, as well as countering other philosophical systems. It fine-tuned itself for thousands of years. Today it can stand a test, any philosophical test. that can be put. Some of the teachers have even foreseen the future philosophical challenges and have already countered them in some of the books. It has also been able to challenge any material science. Vedanta does not call it material science, it just calls it science. Because he says science is a search for truth in the external world, religion is a search for truth in the internal world. So when he had a great vision that both science and religion will meet and join together. And that will be a great boost for humanity. Vedanta can take in any kind of latest scientific philosophy and show some of the correlations there, which have been discovered thousands of years ago. It has a robust system of ethics and morality. Why? Because it is based on the doctrine of oneness. Why should I do good? Because you are that multiplied. So it takes also care of looking after the environment, which we are just talking about. There are microplastics in everything, and even in our human body. That is the law of karma. You throw a plastic bag out, it's going to come back to your microplastics. So all these things, so it has the philosophy, and then you have it has met scientific, you can say. It makes for ethics and philosophy in a way that everybody can practice it. So it's not a commandment given by some external agency. You can see it, you can reason it. He also, Swamiji said, the moment you understand this, then your life becomes meaningful. When this doctrine of oneness is being taught and practiced, then anybody can practice it. And every small activity, whether in private or in public, becomes meaningful. Because today, what we see is a erosion of values and the meaninglessness of life, the kind of great loneliness that has gripped people, alienation. Why don't you open your eyes and see around? This world is there for you. And it is, in a way, you. So, another thing, like I don't want to take too much of your time, but we have today Vedantic ideas seeping into folklore and culture and everything. Like you'll find ideas of oneness and reality in music and in poetry and in art and in cinema. You'll find these ideas percolating down. Well, they are the need of the times. Anything that is small, anything that is limited, is going to have problems in the future. The strength of anything is judged by its universality. Anything that's wide, it's open, it's broad enough, is going to survive. And that's why these small sects and small organizations and small things, small religions, will all be kind of sucked up into this body of Sri Ramakrishna. That is Vedanta. We started off in Ramakrishna did not know how to organize. Yeah. Swamiji, he makes a tremendous statement. Nothing new again. Buddha says the Sangha, the order, is the body of Buddha. Christ also says that the church is his body. They believe, the church believes that the whole church is his body. Swamiji also says that this organization is the body of Sri Ramakrishna. So every work that you do now has become holy. You, me, and everybody are part of that great body, the great body that is the ideas, the life, and the message, and the knowledge of Ramakrishna that we are now living. We hope in time we will realize our own, you can say, value in being associated with Ramakrishna, being part of Sri Ramakrishna. And the future will see, look back and see, yeah, these were the other guys who came before us, who helped us maintain and spread this Vedanta to the future. So think of this as a movement that has just begun, has taken its fledgling steps. There's a long way to go. In the future, there may not be any Vedanta societies. There won't be any need for Vedanta societies. Why? Because Vedanta will be everywhere. You don't need an organization anymore.